All right. Welcome to the September 14th EAC meeting. I guess the first order of business, as usual, is the August meeting minutes, August 10th. And it looks like at least three of us that were at the meeting, three of the five are at this meeting. So I think we can have a vote.
All right, the motion
Okay.
to approve the minutes from the August 10th meeting.
Right. So Sumya, myself, and Jim, we were all there. So if we all vote aye, that's good. So I vote aye. All right. Meetings minutes will be sent on to the township. All right. Number 2, tree planting update. I don't know. Did everybody get a chance to read that email that just came in?
Yeah, I did, and it was I was incredibly pleased with the numbers. They haven't selected obviously the person that they're going to use, but when we initially talked about this, somebody was talking or gave a rough quote of over $100,000, I think. And I thought that was somewhat insane. So obviously these new numbers, reflect more rational reasoning, I think. So I'm very pleased with where those numbers are. What about you, Alan, and everybody else?
Well, yeah, I'm happy the initial estimate I think Derek Fuller made of 125,000. And that's $772 per tree.
Right.
And it looks like they came in between roughly 66,000 and 85,000, which is anywhere from 407 per tree, which is pretty close to what our tree bank fee is.
Right.
To 529. Now, I assume this includes deer protection and things like that, but I guess we'll find out. They're going to vote on this at the next supervisor meeting on September 20th. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, well, it was my understanding, I think, the last time this was done for the Mirror Lake plantings, I think they include like watering, like the gator bags. I think there was a guarantee for a year.
Yeah.
So I'll be, very curious to see. And by the way, I think probably we should, because of inflation and everything else, we had inflation riders on the tree bank number that we use, for tree bank purposes when, developers want to pay cash instead of plant the trees. But I think we should probably take another look at that number because with the current inflation rate, I think that number is around 350 or 60. So I think it's a little on the low side now.
Right. Well, we're supposed to do that every 2 years. So I don't know when it was done last. I'll ask Jim Majewski when he last changed it, because it may be time.
Did you say in the message you want to come to the next meeting?
Well, no, that's not another thing. What we're talking about are planting 162 trees at, where was it, Memorial Park, the Fred Allen softball fields, and the Keola fields. Hi, Kevin. And so that's what this is about. The person that's coming to our next meeting is the one that's making the long-range tree plan for the future.
Oh, the 25% for 10 acres or more?
No, that's totally something different. This is remember we had the long-range tree planting plan from 2016?
Yeah.
Had maybe 15 sites. Well, they want a new one now because we pretty much addressed most of those sites. So this consultant will be coming up with a new plan on where we plant trees in the township in the future, maybe suggestions on how many, things like that. So we should be thinking about that during the next month, what kind of guidance we'd like to give this consultant when they're coming up with the new long-range tree planting plan. Because they got 18,000. That money came out of the tree bank, by the way, too, Jim, if you were wondering.
All right, I guess
That's fine.
at least our legal people thought that that was a valid use of the money.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't really have any big issue with that, but we just have to be careful with that money too, because its primary use should certainly be the purchase of trees. But I think in a case like this, it makes sense.
Mhm. Has anybody heard of this company, Thomas Comita Associates?
Now, I haven't heard of any of them, but what I'm thinking, I didn't see any completion date on this, so I'm hoping that this would probably be done before the end of the year anyway. And then we could start on the plan, in 2024. Even though we could probably, even in 2024, have some fill-ins for, the old plan as well.
Yeah. That's a good question to ask them next month when they're at our meeting. Ask them when they think they'll be done.
Yeah, I'm also, I'm thinking $18,000, seems a little on the low side to me, for a large plan like that. But anyway, maybe not. I mean, it just entails intellectual work, no physical stuff or plannings or anything like that. So
yeah, it was a low bid. I forget what the range was. They went up to like 30,000 for some of the plans. So they generally take the low bid as long as it addresses all the parameters and the request for proposals.
yeah, and I think also with the 162 trees that are to be planted this fall, I think the EAC is going to have probably a fairly large role in that, because the plans that we put out are not totally specific. They're specific by areas, but within those areas, I think there's a lot of flexibility where to plant the trees. Specifically, I was looking at Fred Allen Field, and in the back of the fields along the wooded area, that's the area where a lot of trees supposedly are going to be planted. So I think it's going to take some, work on the EAC, and I hope Linda would be very good at that. So hopefully, she's going to be around this fall and help us with that.
And hopefully she'll attend our October meeting when we talk to the long-range tree planting guy too. Get her input. So yeah, I didn't see the request for proposal, so I don't know if they had specific locations for all the trees or not. Guess we'll find that out at the meeting on September 20th.
Well, we actually told them, we gave them specific general areas, not where each individual tree is going to be planted. So this will be interesting to see, what develops. But I'm really excited about this, and I think everybody in the EAC should feel elated as I do, because this kind of project in the long run would not happen without us. And so I'm really, really excited that the township is very receptive, and that we're going to have a major tree planting this fall.
Yeah. So any other questions on the trees? We'll move on.
If you want to know the information on the Tree City USA, I can fill you in since it's the same topic.
Sure.
Okay. So the Tree City USA is a program supported by the Arbor Day Foundation, and the application deadlines are always in September. They have some eligibility criteria for getting their recognition, and the four of them. There is some disturbance at the back. I don't know who that is. There's some conversation going on.
Probably me. I'll mute.
Yeah, we had some
Okay.
kids in the background. Go ahead, Sumya.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't hear myself. So the first thing is that there has to be a tree board or a department which is responsible for public trees. So I suppose our Parks and Rec fits the bill. I don't know, does it? Or is it the PW, Public Works?
I don't know. It might have to be a volunteer committee. Tree Commission, I think it's called. We should find out. Isn't Newtown a tree
Yeah.
city?
Yeah. No,
Let's find,
I think who is looking after our trees right now? Somebody is.
I don't know if anybody is.
It just means what they require is there has to be some legal responsibility designated. So
Right.
somebody is, watering those trees, and it's a PWD, right, that planted the trees, and who does all the removal of dead trees, maintenance, and things like that.
Oh, Public Works would do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we have that uh, requirement. Then we need to have a public tree care ordinance. I know we have a planting ordinance. Do we have anything for guidelines? I mean, a legal ordinance, approved ordinance, which commits the township in some form to take care of trees?
Well,
Nothing comes to my mind.
no, I think certainly in new developments and things like that, there's parameters as to tree protection standards and things like that. But I don't think we have any like formal tree commission. And I thought that might be one of the parameters.
Yeah.
And I know a certain amount of the budget, I think, has to be allotted as well. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll let you continue, Sumya.
Yeah. So since our manager is really gung ho right now, maybe this is a good time to strike. Um, so then they also require the third precondition is that you need to have a dedicated annual expenditure of $2 per capita, which is a little not very clear. I mean, not reasonable to me, because supposing you don't need that much of money to be to spend every year, not sure how that works. There should be some flexibility, to my mind,
Well,
but this is their guidelines.
you said $2 per person?
Yeah,
Well,
and it can
if we count
include.
the tree bank, the money we pay out of the tree bank, that's 66,000 a year. I'm sure we could
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
but is there an annual budget? I think right now it's just ad hoc, right? We have a lot of money in the tree bank, and as and when we spend it.
Okay, so it has to be an annual budget set.
Commitment. Yeah, commitment is what they're looking for, an annual commitment.
Yeah, we'd have to get the supervisors in township to agree to spend 66,000 of the tree bank money every year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean, that's
also, yeah, go ahead.
that's based on $2 per capita, which is about what, 65, $70,000 a year. But we do have the tree bank money, but I'm not sure we spend that. I mean, under the new master plan, that might be sufficient, because the new master plan is going to, specify how many trees are planted in which areas, and I assume it would be on a yearly basis. I mean, the current master plan, took us, I don't know how many years to do. So maybe, Sumya, that would suffice.
Okay.
The-
Yeah, also the $2, the budget of $2 per capita can
Uh-huh.
include in-kind donations, I mean volunteer services, time, donations, etc., educational expenses. So I think even so there's a flexibility in what those $2 go towards, not only planting trees.
Okay, so they can be volunteer at work.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was wondering whether this the consulting fee to this uh, for making the long range tree planting up,
Yeah.
updating the plan, that might also go towards it.
Uh-huh.
Could potentially.
I think that $18,000 would certainly, be part of that expense. So that's a
Yeah.
good point you bring up.
Yeah. And then there has to be an Arbor Day observance and a proclamation signed by the mayor every year. So it's like a formal proclamation and a formal event, tree celebration with the community. tree celebration, like awareness day, basically, not necessarily a planting day.
Huh.
So,
Right.
this is something we could talk to the township manager to see whether I think he looks like he should be quite favorable to
Yeah.
doing this. So this website is fantastic in terms of how clean and well organized it is. They have a dummy, I mean, what do you call it, draft documents for everything through the application process. How do you approach your manager? How do you approach your officials? How do you make a case presentation to them? And through the whole thing, every document, ordinance, they have a sample ordinance as to how to do it, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the townships and boroughs around us that I could recognize, which are already recognized, I mean, which I could identify, which are recognized by this grant,
Uh-huh.
um, are New Hope Borough, Soulbury Township, Newtown Borough, Yardley Borough, Hamilton, Princeton, Lawrence, and Pennington. So we have a lot of company around us.
Yeah, really.
And the other thing, and very interesting thing I found on their website is other programs which also support tree planting for grants and stuff. So there is one which is a TD Green Space grant for green infrastructure. There is a Bank of America Community Resilience grant, which can be used for, I guess, potential flood-prone areas along creeks and things like that. Community tree recovery, like this is for loss of trees post any event and things. Then there is another program for phytoremediation, so cleaning up streams with or soil, groundwater remediation and ground remediation with tree planting. Then there's a general community canopy, which is tree planting just per se. And then there is a Tree Line USA, which is very, very interesting, which is to do with utility arboriculture, promoting best practices in that, and we need it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So,
yeah,
well,
right.
you said the application is due in October?
September each year.
Oh, in September. So we could work on this the coming year and be ready next September?
Yeah, so given all these resources that are potentially available, I was thinking that I could maybe make a summary of all these different programs, the Tree City USA plus all the others, and just list down the bullet points that are needed to go through this in addition to the benefits, etc., etc. And then maybe we can set up a meeting with the township manager and present it to him to say to see what he thinks is I have a feeling the you know uh, everything is like low hanging fruit. Setting up an ordinance for maintenance, I don't think there'll be any
Mm-hmm.
objection to that. And I don't think there'll be any objection to setting up formally declaring an Arbor Day, proclaiming it, meaning every year it has to be a legal proclamation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with
Yeah,
proclaiming an Arbor Day. The Board of Supervisors just says, okay, by proclamation,
yeah.
this is it. My only comment is the Tree City USA seems to be, the Cadillac. And I think the conversation I had with Dave Kratzer, the manager, several months ago, he mentioned that one specifically. So
Hmm.
it might be, I think, interesting to know about some of these others. But again, I think this is, at least in my limited knowledge, the Cadillac. And I think this is probably, the most recognizable direction to take. So I'm not sure I would spend a lot of money on some of these or time on these other plans, but it would certainly be interesting to know what's out there.
No, I think it's very important to build in resilience and remediation and the utility of arboriculture. I think these are very, very important aspects that we can build into the long range tree planting plan with potential funds and recognition from these grants. Or I don't know what these programs offer, but whatever they offer, I think they are very important, as important as just identifying township space for planting trees.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I mean, objective wise, they seem to be quite important.
All right. So you're going to write up a summary of what we need to do to get the Tree City USA certification. Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay,
So
yeah,
I
and
would suggest that if when we meet him, we can present everything
yeah,
to him, and then we see how it goes.
yeah,
Because I had never heard of this. When I looked up this website, I've learned about 6 more. So that's how that's how you get to be more aware of things. So the more
uh-huh.
we present to him, we'll see what is doable, what
Right.
catches his fancy. Because I don't think Tree City USA alone is enough, especially since we have these specific objectives of pollution, aligning with the utility lines, which is really, really, really a big need for us, and also flooding. I think these 3 things are very important, other than planting trees in open space.
Okay, so you're saying we should do more than Tree City USA, you want to do other stuff too?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should summarize all the other stuff, like I said, maybe as a simple chart, and see how it goes with the township manager. Let's see what they are willing to take up.
Well, they're very aware of trees and their positive effect on stormwater management,
Yeah,
and they're already looking into that. In fact, they
yeah,
want this tree plan, this new one, to kind of help out with that if possible. Get locations, it'll reduce storm runoff.
exactly. So I thought this community resilient grant is something which fits in with them, with the general all those objectives.
All right, well, that's my feeling is just let's first get the Tree City USA and then move on from that. I don't know. Seems like
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
in
in
any
agreement
case,
with that approach. I think what Sumya said about these other factors are also important, but I think we should channel into the Tree City USA, get that done, and then we can, add later as we go along for some of these other very important, factors as well.
yeah, but I don't think we should lose the opportunity when we meet the manager to make him aware of all these programs as well. And ultimately, the EAC has no what do you call no agency to take any of these programs ahead. It's the administration which has to take any of these ahead because they are the ones who have to submit the application. So all we can do is make them aware of it, and they decide what works for them. So making them aware of 6 other programs is not a big deal. In any case, we are out of the picture once the application has to be submitted.
yeah, you said
What
next
kind of
September.
time frame are we looking at here, Sumya, as far as your summary?
Um, I can do it by the next meeting.
Oh, okay, that's certainly fast enough. Can you also send out before the meeting, a copy of that to all the members so we can take a look at it before the meeting and then maybe have even more intelligent questions?
Yeah. So what I was thinking is that first I'll just make a table or a chart, and then we can see how it all lines up to see how complicated one is versus the other, just to see what are the requirements and what are the benefits. So
Yeah,
overall, then we'll get a picture snapshot as to uh, what different programs offer for the time investment.
Yeah, I'd just be specifically interested in the Tree City USA standards because I think also I started reading a little about that, but just on the periphery, and it seems that the town has to possibly have some kind of ordinance even uh, as far as trees and their protection and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's something that I'm eager to learn about. So
yeah, she
Yeah,
mentioned,
that's the maintenance ordinance, tree
right.
care ordinance that they require.
Yeah, and kind of get an idea of what tasks need to be done, and we could help you out maybe on some of the tasks, and we can all work together, get this done.
Sure, sure. No, as a next step, I was just thinking of making a simple chart to summarize all these things in
Things that need
bullet
to be
points,
done.
just
Okay,
in bullet points, like a visual rather than a long text to read. And I can always put the hyperlinks in it. So for further details, one can click the main website for that particular information. So it's more like just a summary of which program offers what for what cost.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then we
that's
can
good. Start.
see where what the township actually gets interested in.
Okay. Yeah, maybe meet with them in early November, something like that. Might be
Sure.
ready.
Sure.
Okay. Wow. That's good. All right, moving beyond trees to recycling. Our 28th events is still going to happen, we hope. I got my flyer here that I'm going to distribute throughout the township in the next week. And did you get a copy of the flyer, Sumya?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
maybe
think,
you could post
yeah.
it on Lower Makefield is a great place to live.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll help. And I was thinking of asking the Lions Club for 3 volunteers to help out, because I don't know, Kevin, were you going to be there or not? You don't know yet, right? 28th of October, far into the future.
Yeah, I think I should be there.
Okay. And I know Jim and Gene will be there, and Paul.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
Okay, so we're gonna Insumia. If you're there, that's great.
Yeah, it's too far into the future.
Yeah, it is a ways out there. But should I go ahead and ask for 3 people from them? I guess.
Yeah, Alan, I still think that's a great idea because if you have 1 or 2
Okay.
extra, it
Yeah.
just really makes things go a lot smoother.
All right, I'll send the Lions Club guy, who I forget his name, but I got his email, and I'll ask if they could supply 3 people from 10 to noon. And that'll be good. And I'll rent the truck this weekend. And I talked to who are the people we take the styrofoam to? Bristol. Come on,
Yeah.
help me, Gene.
I'm trying. I'm trying to. Bob and
Packing, something packing.
huh?
Wasn't it something packaging?
No, it's
It doesn't say on the.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think
It doesn't matter. I called them, and they're ready for us to bring them styrofoam on. It'll be on October 31st, that Monday.
Ray Bob.
Ray Bob, yay.
I was going to just say Bob Ray, so.
Yeah. It's a good way to remember it. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, 30th. So yeah, that's all going good. Kevin, you had something from Pennsbury School. They're going to talk about sustainability.
Yes, they're going to, at the next school board meeting next week, they're going to be presenting the sustainability report. I don't think I've seen it, but it would be nice to get an update on that.
All right. Well, if anybody goes, report back next month.
I'm planning on going.
Are you going to go? Okay, good. So we'll have you report back. All right. Let's see. Matt texted me and said he had to go to a wedding practice or whatever. I assume he's not getting married. Somebody's getting married, but wedding rehearsal. So he's there right now. So I don't know about the recycling guide. Should I just go ahead and make copies of what we got now? We have from last spring. Because I was going to bring them
I can't
to
imagine that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That anything major is going to be changed.
Yeah. All right. So I'll make maybe 20, 25 copies and bring them to the 28th, October 28th event.
no, well, I don't know. I mean,
What?
there could be changes. They could have,
Well, you
but
can make changes. I mean, I can make copies up till a few days beforehand.
yeah.
So.
Or
I'll
we
give
could,
you
or we
a
could
couple
not,
weeks.
we could also not print them.
Not print them?
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
Mom,
But
we're supposed to love the trees.
I know. but we might save more trees by printing it because more people will recycle. You know, it's a balance. Very good.
I don't think Kevin's buying that.
Okay. But getting the information out on a lot of stuff you can recycle. All right. I'll lower it to 20. How's that? Keep it low. All right. And I don't know if I don't think any of you got the email from Dave Kratzer. It went to Matt, myself, and Dan Grenier about the possibility of our township combining with Yardley, Tullytown, maybe Falls, and have a group electronic recycling event. He gave some dates that are coming up pretty soon. I don't see
I thought it was November 11th. I thought I saw.
November?
Yeah, I think he said November 11th.
Yeah, that was one of them. And then
I didn't see the
yeah, there's a couple. But November 11th, September 30th, which probably isn't going to happen, and October 7th. So if it happens November 11th, it's probably the one that would happen.
Is
But
it,
I haven't heard anything back since then.
This just came in.
Is it definitely going to be here?
No, it's definitely not going to happen yet. I don't know if you got any of the other municipalities to join up because you get funding from the state to pay for it all if you do this.
Oh, he said they're looking at November 11th. It sounds like it's not finalized, but he's going to follow up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was at 6:05. He said it after the meeting started.
Well, who's coordinating all that? Is that Dave? He's the one who sent out all these feelers and they'll come up with a date or what?
I guess he's the one who sent it to me. How are you finding out about it, Kevin? Did I send it to you or did you just...
He sent a meeting at 6:05 to the EAC in the tree planting communication.
Okay, at 6:05 today?
Yes.
Oh, so I haven't seen it yet. So, okay. All right. Well, that's good. You're reading this email.
And what did he say, Kevin?
He said they're looking at teaming up with Yardley Borough on Saturday, November 11th for an e-waste recycling event at the pool, but he's going to follow up with more details.
Okay.
So I don't know if we should publish it yet.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. What do you say about the tree stuff?
Great work.
Okay. I can't improve on that. All right. So stay tuned on that. So we may have a electronic recycling collection next to the pool on November 11th. Is that that's a Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Proposed zoning ordinance. Dan Grenier wanted us to look at that. You saw his email. And Dan's not here because he's interviewing prospective supervisor candidates because Fred Weiss dropped out, resigned. So they got to get another supervisor for the next couple months. And he's interviewing.
I thought there was some kind of fill-in that was almost like an appointed position that automatically fills the void in a situation like this.
Well, I think that person provides the fifth vote for a supervisor, because if you only had 4 supervisors voting for the new one to come on, I guess there's a worry there'd be a lot of 2-2 votes, and they want 3 votes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the guy on the planning commission. He's the
Jason. I forget his last name. I think several years ago, when somebody left the board, he filled in that slot for several months, I think, until an election took place.
No, I thought he just had a vote on who the new person would be. He doesn't actually fill in the position. There are 10 people interviewing for this position tonight. Or I think 9 tonight and 1 tomorrow.
Oh,
So,
really? Huh.
yeah. So it's going to be somebody new. So that's why Dan's not here. But okay, getting back, he sent that out, and it's that open space ordinance, the 25% of any new residential development in R1, R2 has to have 25% open space. That's what you were talking about, Paul, earlier.
Yeah,
And
with 10 acres or more.
right. And they've already passed the zoning changes to make it happen. Now they want to make our saldo ordinance consistent with the zoning. So these are just changes to make them match up. I might have a couple comments on it. So I'll probably send you a draft comment letter next week. And most of it, Dan was worried about they might build like basketball courts and tennis courts on this open space. And he was worried about that because there'd be a lot of impervious surface and it wouldn't really be environmentally great. So I might make a comment to that effect. I don't know. But I'll send something out next week.
All right, but this is very similar to what we already have in some of our ordinances. The thing that I think would really be wonderful if they could reduce the number of houses on an overall basis. This basically, if I remember, Alan, you correct me if I'm wrong, the same number of houses can be built just on smaller lot sizes.
Exactly. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, cluster development.
It's better. It's certainly better than nothing. What's I'm having a senior moment. What's that called in our ordinance? The concept?
Cluster development?
Yeah, clustering. That's the word I was looking for too. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea, but it would really have a lot of merit if we did it the other way. And I'm not sure legally if that would not be permissible, but that's something that I would like to talk to our legal people about in the future. Yeah,
because it's too late, I think, to radically change this ordinance. I think it's already.
The sheep are in the pasture on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And actually, I might send it to you this weekend because I think they're going to vote on this at the September 20th meeting. I'm not positive. They'll come out with a schedule on Friday, and if they are, then I'll get it out to you Sunday to look at. It won't be very long, though. One page.
By the way, when was Fred's term going to end officially?
At the end of this year.
At the end of the year, okay.
So the new person will just be in till December 31st or whatever. So it's not a long appointment. Pretty short. All right, land development, nothing new with 1566 or Torbert Farm development. The point at Edgewood Village, the Planning Commission discussed it on the August 14th, and there's issues with the traffic because if you remember the site, Yardley Langhorne Road intersects Edgewood, and it's a really tight corner there, and they're worried about turns and people not being able to see before they turn. So they're going to make traffic counts. So this will go on for a while. And also Ed Murphy, the attorney, apparently is an expert on pervious surface because he said they couldn't use pervious surface in the parking lot, which they could. So I don't know. I may say another comment on that because it's not a heavily used parking lot. I mean, it's just the people that live there. And they have pervious surface at Makefield School, and it seems to hold up just fine, and that gets a lot of use. So whatever. And then the new one is 1511 Lindenhurst Road. It's subdividing one 4.5 acre lot into 2 lots and building 1 new house. And I think they're adding on to the remaining house, the existing house. And there are some issues with the buffer there that I won't go into, but it should have a 100-foot buffer, and it went before zoning because they need to put stormwater management within that buffer, so they needed a variance. And they got that variance, but then Peter Solar, he used to be a member of our group, he suggested they plant within 50 feet of the water course. There's a stream going through there. And then eventually they could get a 50-foot buffer, because if the vegetation is 20 feet high or higher, you get a 50-foot buffer. Whereas if it's 12 inches or lower, which it is now, you get a 100-foot buffer. So he suggested that, and then the plans came in, and lo and behold, it's become a 50-foot buffer, even though the plantings won't get 20 feet for another 15 years or so. I mean, I don't quite understand it, but we're going to make a comment on that, because you can't base your protection, your environmental protections, on what will happen 15 or 20 years from now. So I'll be sending out a comment letter on that next week or so. I want to go by the site, check it out. All right, the EAC letter on reducing flooding. I haven't gotten anything from Matt. I wrote up something on some stormwater management ordinance changes we could make, but I haven't heard anything from Matt, so it's just sitting there right now.
Well, isn't that all reflected in the newsletter article, though, Alan?
Yeah, but we were going to send a letter to the township with some suggestions. You know, it's probably not critical. The township actually is going to do a flood mitigation assessment. They hired somebody to do it. They're going to do a study of that drainage that impacted the what was the neighborhood that was impacted? I forget what it's called, but you know, near the canal, near I-295. They got the flooding in August.
Oh yeah, it's up at that lock house, with where the white building is.
Well, it's south of 295. On
Okay.
Road, right in there. It's that
I think it's called Maplewood.
Maplewood, okay. Or Maple Vale. Yeah.
That's Maple Vale, that's it.
Yeah.
And they're closing Taylorsville Road to put pipes in above 295 between what is it? Can't think of the two roads.
But yeah, they're doing a lot of work. The Maplevale people have been coming to the supervisor meetings and making their feelings well known. So there's a lot of action being taken on that right now.
The big holdup is that they want to put a pipe, which they already own, underneath the canal to drain off some of the water, but they have to get permission from the Department of Natural Resources, Conservation and Natural Resources to do that.
Yeah, they own the canal. Wow, I didn't know that. Pipe under the canal.
Yeah, Dan told us about it at the meeting 2 months ago at the Democratic Committee.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. Newsletter. We sent out that newsletter a week ago or so. And Matt wanted to know if we could put it on Facebook, but can you put in something that large on the Facebook? Do you know, Sumya? I mean, is that, have you ever seen anything?
It's difficult to read because there are so many topics there, like to scroll down.
Yeah. Can you use
what you can do is set up a file and put it in a file and then just make a link from a posting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to suggest to Matt if he was on this. Do you know how to do that, Paul?
If I have permission, yeah, I can do that.
You have permission. Because, yeah, we can't put the whole thing as a post on Facebook. It would be too big, I would think. But doing the link, that's what you see is the link, and that takes you there.
There's a feature you turn on files, you upload the newsletter, and you just put a posting saying, see our latest newsletter in the file section of our Facebook page. So,
and you have the newsletter that you can post. Do you have it saved?
I think so. Okay. I don't think I deleted it. I'll check.
Okay, well, if you can do that, that'd be great.
I also think though that going back to item 6, I think it's real important for us right now to maybe talk to Matt, get that letter out to the township, because with everything that's going on, especially that horrible situation that happened up in Upper Makefield, this is on everybody's mind right now. And I think it's important for the township to know that we're on top of this and sending them some information, that we consider important for them to take a look at.
Well, I was going to tell him that he sent me the email that said he had the wedding rehearsal, but he wanted to talk to me. So I said, okay, call me. I think it was 7 o'clock yesterday, and he never called. So,
all right,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, well,
all right.
I assume it's not his wedding, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, I'll send him an email and ask if he has anything, just in case. But if he does, yeah. And I wish Dan was on this. I know he has an excuse for not being on the call, but we could use some input from him on some of these things, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. And that newsletter, after a couple of edits, but I thought it was really a first class job.
Yeah, right.
And people, if they didn't know anything at all about it and they started reading that, they'd start to get, some comprehension as to exactly what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see the web page. I took
a look at the web page. So it has a fair amount of updated information, but it's very difficult to identify where things are. So that's more like web design. So I'm not sure we have any help on that.
Well, I had actually sent the flyer for the recycling event to the township. I'm spacing out today. Who's our the contact there?
Katie
McVie. Yeah. So I sent her the flyer and the thing about reviving Birdtown.
Right.
And I sent it about 3 weeks ago, and I looked a couple days ago and wasn't there, and I emailed her, and she said they're in the process of redoing the website, like you said, Sumya, and so she said it'll eventually get on there. So right now, I think we gotta wait.
Yeah, so she's the contact. Is she doing the revamping or somebody else?
No, there's other people doing it, but she kind of coordinates it. So yeah, Katie's the person for the webpage, our contact for the webpage. So if you want to know what's going on, contact her.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot wrong with it. And Katie, I mean, I can't imagine she needs to wait until the whole thing is over, is done. There's some things she could just eliminate in a few minutes.
Yeah, we have the flyer for the lecture in June still up.
Yeah, that's
the Monarch lecture.
So
yeah, we'll keep on her. Hopefully it'll happen pretty soon. And now the always popular odds and ends. Autobahn Birdtown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so Sumya was so cute that your daughter said that she's interested in getting involved, maybe interested in getting involved with the Birdtown. And I'm still, I told her I would get back to her when I know something, but I'm trying to get some, people interested. Laura Brandt is interested in your daughter. And so we have 3 of us, and I'm sure we'll have more.
Is that enough? 3?
No, no, we'll have more. But who was saying? Were you saying that we have trouble getting we do have trouble getting people to volunteer in the township, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe if our newsletter gets posted on Facebook, the Lower Makefield is a great place to live. Maybe a few people will see that because it's in the newsletter. So we're counting on you, Paul.
As long as I have permission to be one of the administrators. Well, I don't know how to. Who handles it now?
Oh, on Lower Makefield is a great place to live.
No, on the EAC's Facebook page.
We don't have a Facebook page.
We don't have a Facebook page.
We don't.
I thought we did.
We were told that we are not allowed to because other committees don't have them. And if you want anything to be posted, we have to send it to the township. Send it to be posted on the township Facebook page, the official one.
Huh. Yeah, so put it on Lower Makefield. It's a great place to live, and maybe you should try to get your little Birdtown announcement on the township Facebook page too. But I don't know if they would do that. They might. I don't know.
Oh, and yeah, I think they would. And also have to get it into the community center.
Community center. You mean the bulletin board? What?
Monica, huh?
Monica, did she run the Facebook page for the township? I got a feeling her group might.
Well, I don't know, but she can do something with it, I'm sure. I mean, yeah. I'm just waiting to get a couple of more people involved, and then we can start really doing stuff, getting it out there.
I'll contact Katie and see if they can put it up. If they can put our minutes up and our agenda and our annual report, why can't they put up the newsletter?
Yeah, you think it could go there, but a lot more people will see it if you put it on Lower Makefield is a great place to live Facebook page than on our
and also neighborhood networks.
Yeah, and I'm going to send it to Monica to see if she'll put it on the township one Facebook page.
The newsletter.
No.
Oh,
sorry, I was thinking the recycling flyer. Yeah, she won't put our newsletter on there. I guarantee that.
Right.
But she will put the flyer.
But the newsletter should be there on the. Oh, anyway, we have to hold off till the website is organized. I guess it should be there on the website.
Yeah, it's pointless now to try. All right. Makefield Park Steering Committee. I know there's nothing new with that, even though Matt's not here. I know nothing's going on, but related to that is the Snipes track. The township hired Natural Lands to do a study of it. It's environmental, I don't know, the state of environmental, as far as diversity of plants and things like that, and whether it should be kept or made into soccer fields. So there.
You mean environmental impact?
Yeah, well, kind of just the state of the environment there. You know, the trees healthy, what kind of wildlife, all that kind of thing. And the study is basically done, and I think it might be presented at the September 20th Board of Supervisor meeting. And I'd love to see it beforehand, but I don't know if we will. So keep your eye open for that. If I see it out on the township webpage, I'll send it to you. So if you want to look at it.
So what is it again?
That'd be great.
I kind of missed that.
It's a group called Natural Lands, and they studied the Snipes track.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And this has been going on for a while, at least.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But they finished it, you said.
Yeah. So.
And they are presenting it on the 20th?
That's my speculation. Now that it's done, I heard at the Park and Rec meeting, Monica said that, but who knows? You know, that was the plan, but it may end up in October's, but be on the watch. It's going to be out there soon.
You know what? Remember when they were, are they still working on, does anybody know if if Monica's group is still working on recycling in the park? Remember that was, they put that report together.
Yeah, I think
And
you're supposed
then
to
I
take
haven't
it
heard
all out.
anything. Huh? Have you heard anything since? Anybody?
Well, you take the trash out with you, and that would include recyclables. But I guess the parks where you don't do that, that would be a good question. Because Makefield, I don't think is a carry-out park.
Well, they didn't do anything on it, did they? I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of parks that they don't have trash cans anymore or recycling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 Mile Woods, I know that.
Uh-huh.
A lot. I don't know which ones they kept the trash cans. I know the pool area, they still have them. That would be a good question for Monica.
Yeah, because I mean, if there is, I mean, I haven't been in the parks in a long time, but if they're doing something that's big like that, like, you know, not like carry in, carry out, whatever,
Yeah.
that people should know. And maybe they do, and I just haven't been to the parks to.
I think they have signs.
Do
I'll
they?
go look at Macclesfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my understanding that this has been totally implemented at the level it's at right now, and then based upon performance, I think down the road, they're going to incorporate more and more of the parks as well.
Yeah, expand it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll do a little survey. I'll put a note. All right, and then Patterson Farm Ad Hoc Property Committee. Kevin, I know there's going to be a public forum coming up.
Yes,
I think that's tonight at 7:30.
no. Tonight is the ad hoc property committee meeting. The public forum is Tuesday the 26th.
Okay.
And that will be at the Township Administration Building, 7 o'clock.
And that's going to be the last one, and then there'll be a report.
That's the plan, as far as I know. I don't know if there's going to be another one, but the plan is to have 2, and this would be the second one.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see what happens. And last, Kevin was at the Community Day event and noticed some improvements that could be made for next year's, I assume.
Yeah, and in general, events sponsored by LMT, as far as ways to reduce energy and reduce waste, probably not a lot to go into at this meeting, but I'll probably be, with the EAC's permission, I'll probably start some communication with the township to try and figure out how to do it.
Sure. Were the recycling containers at the Community Day event?
I didn't see any.
Really? We got to get on them on that, especially because they have all these temporary ones they can set up that are lightweight. I don't know if you remember seeing those.
Yeah, the only things I remember is they had temporary trash cans with bags in them, and
yeah,
I didn't see anything labeled recycling.
All right. Yeah.
So I was down at Cape May over yesterday and today.
La-di-da.
And in a motel. I wasn't in the motel all the time, but anyway, I guess what they had in the rooms, the motel rooms. Not only a trash can, but a recycling can.
Wow.
Now, that is astonishing. I've never seen a recycling can in a motel before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're good. They're ahead of us. We got to catch.
That's kind of disappointing they didn't have recycling at the community day. I think they would. So yeah, between now and next community day. What other events are you thinking about, Kevin, that the township has?
I know there's like they sponsor races. There was one this past weekend. There's one coming up in November, I believe. The race the course. There's a lot of events they put on through the year, and there's waste associated with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Halloween event that's coming up for kids that they did last year. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, so you got a point here. Maybe we should get on Monica's radar, get her to improve the recycling. So yes.
Okay. All right. I'll initiate. I don't know. Do I need to vote on this?
Do we need a vote? I don't know.
All right. Well, let's vote anyway.
Yeah, you are blessed. You can go forward.
Okay.
Do these things. Yes.
I'll take the lead on that, and I'll bring in help as needed.
Okay. Yeah, we'll help if possible. I'm hoping to run in that race at the golf course, so I can be your inside, give you some inside information.
Maybe this time I'll beat you. I doubt it.
Oh, were you there last year?
No. You beat me at the color run.
Oh yeah, the color one. Yeah. Okay. Rematch.
Yeah, rematch.
That's it. All right. Anything else? We're after 6 or after 7.
Just two quick things. Do we have any vacancies for the EAC? I have someone that's interested.
Oh,
Great.
Do we have an alternate? I don't think we have an
I thought
alternate.
we had at least one alternate.
Yeah, we need an alternate because
Well, he's a friend of mine. He's a hydrologist. He lives on American Street. He's also a volunteer firefighter. He works now for the USAID from his home. So he's around a lot. But he knows Jeff from Princeton Hydro.
oh,
wow. Yeah. Tell him to
he used to work for the federal energy the pipeline stuff. PERC. And he just switched over about a year ago to USAID. He drills wells all over the world.
Uh-huh.
oh, wow.
But he's, hydrologist by profession. He used to have his own consulting firm.
Yeah, that'd be good for stormwater.
Yeah, so he knows all about that. And like I said, he's around a lot.
All right.
So I told him, send a letter to the, Board of Supervisors.
To be the alternate.
With his resume.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last thing is just that this Sunday at noon, there's a march from Columbus Circle in New York to the UN to end fossil fuels. They're having a climate summit the whole week next week.
Who is?
The United Nations.
Oh, wow.
So there's a whole coalition of environmental groups. They're having a march from Columbus Circle at 1 p.m. to the United Nations.
Okay. All right. Anything else since we're running over? Anyways.
All right. Whoops, wait a second. Paul, where is that? Columbus Circle to
Yes, Columbus Circle at Central Park. That's 59th and 8th Avenue. They assemble at noon. They start marching at 1 to the United Nations, which is 42nd and 1st Avenue, roughly.
Are you going?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Sounds neat.
Depends on the weather and COVID. Trying to get my booster.
Yeah. Okay. Next meeting's October 12th. And everybody study up on their trees and think about long-range tree plans because they're going to be first on the agenda.
Sounds good. Good to see everybody.
All right. See everybody later. See you at the community day. Be there.